There has been a surge of dozens of crafting and farming games in recent years. Some are amazing while some are mediocre. Some are reusing the same old formula, while some put on a new twist to this genre. Enter Doloc Town. This side-scrolling crafting simulation game is reminiscent of MapleStory or Phenotopia, with a dash of My Time series in terms of the narrative in a post-apocalyptic world. The graphics are pretty cute and the animation looks smooth, but is it enough to have a slot on your wish list? In this video, I'll be sharing my first impressions of the Doloc Town demo, what the game is about, how different the gameplay is, what features blew me away, and what I think could do better. Hopefully by the end, you'll know if this game might just be for you. Oh, and just a heads up, while we've been given early access to the demo, the opinions stated here are our own. So what is the game about? Doloc Town is a unique mix of a simulation and action-packed adventure, set in a quirky wasteland punk world. You'll be building your farm in this post-apocalyptic town while collecting and recycling garbage, harvesting and replanting crops, and fighting monsters. You'll explore dungeons, capture small creatures, and build your own automatic production systems. There are tons of things to do like crafting items, upgrading equipment, or unlocking different technology trees to shape your gameplay experience. One of my initial expectations from the game is that it will be wholly dependent on player skill. Side-scrollers have these jumping on different platforms with various difficulties, as well as aiming and shooting multiple objects. So I was pretty scared when it came to those parts of the game, but so far it wasn't too difficult. Yet. It is just the demo after all. I do hope that there will be some form of difficulty setting options when the game fully releases, so fingers crossed. As for the narrative and world building part of the game, I initially thought that it will be bare bones. And maybe it is a bit, depending on your perspective. But to my surprise, I loved how the town is pretty much lived in. Although I still don't get why they're asking you, supposedly a kid, to do all those quests that they should be asking adults to do. While I love the exposition, I'm definitely still on the fence on the storyline. Or maybe just cautiously optimistic. That said, I am however looking forward to how the narrative will turn out, especially since the demo leaves us a bit intrigued on what's to come. As for the gameplay, we can expect the usual recycled crafts given its post-apocalyptic setting, but with one main difference: side-scrolling. It did take some time to get used to it, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. The crafting and building parts are familiar. You need to attain a certain level of skill, and you need to collect the right materials. One major difference is how you'll be placing it out in the world. You need to be creative since you only have a limited plot. In a sense, this is another type of vertical farming. Foraging is also a familiar part of farming sims. It just saddens me a bit that it's trash that respawns. I mean, alongside wood and rocks, of course. The trash is where you can collect significant materials for tools and stations that you can craft. At least it does adhere to the spirit of recycling. And speaking of recycling, the storage system is pretty different here. You get to recycle boxes where they act as a temporary inventory. You heard that right? Temporary. So they have a number of uses, but it actually isn't so bad. And my favorite part is that you can store these boxes at storage shelves and it makes your area a bit lived in. That said, one of the coolest parts of Doloc Town for me is its freedom. You're not locked into a strict playstyle. You can focus on farming, building relationships with quirky NPCs, or even become a dungeon-crawling adventurer. And that's just right up my alley. If you've been part of the community for this channel, you know that I love gameplay personalization, where there is no wrong way to play. In this game, you are not limited by time, but by energy. You can replenish your energy by sleeping or taking a nap so you can be fully awake traversing through town at 2 a.m. in the morning. The town is full of humor with anime-inspired storytelling and an open-world structure, so you can go at your own pace. The characters I met were all pretty quirky so far. They do have something distinct about them. You'll get to know these NPCs, discover what makes them tick, and experience a lighthearted but solid plot that gives life to this pixel art world. Visually, the game has a charming retro pixel art style, which is perfect for anyone who loves classic indie games. The combat is pretty straightforward. You can equip drones and head to dungeons. It definitely reminded me of MapleStory. There's an auto-aim or manual aim, however I find that using the manual is much easier for now. What blew me away is the quality of life features the demo already has. Or maybe my expectations were just pretty low since it's just a demo, but either way I really appreciate these features. It's one thing that can separate it from older games, and we've come so far now. Knowing the difference between what challenges gamers and makes the world more interesting, versus features that are just a hassle and consumes time just for the sake of it. Some examples are the take all and store all feature, which makes organizing your items a piece of cake, especially in crafting simulation games where there are just so many materials and ingredients. Another would be the tips in the quest screen. If you feel that the game is not intuitive enough for you, this will help you out on what's next. I also enjoyed the exploration in this game, and while the map is still pretty small, I love how access to certain areas is not as straightforward as it seems. And in buildings, you would have to go deeper into rooms to find certain NPCs, whether it's for a quest or just to shop. I did find myself a bit lost a few times on different occasions, but I loved every bit of it. Given that it's the first public demo, it's bound to have some bugs like missing and duplicate items, unlocalized text, missing text variables, and crashes on certain occasions. It is far from perfect, but I don't think it hindered me from exploring much of the game. In fact, it will be something I'll be looking forward to in the next revisions or updates. Like I'll finally know what this text is saying. One thing that slightly bothered me was that there was an option to check out the shop of an NPC outside business hours. It didn't push through, and well, it would have been better if the option was not available from the get-go and it's not within business hours. Aside from that, I would love to have a character customization. Although it's basically just a wish of mine, just to have a more personalized gameplay. The protagonist is pretty adorable with her welder mask dangling as she walks. From my gameplay, I increased my relationship with one of the NPCs, however I did not see any screens indicating relationship with the characters. I might have just missed it, but let me know in the comments. And if it hasn't been implemented yet, well, I'm looking forward to it, because so far the characters have all been pretty memorable. And I'm definitely looking forward to more interactions with them, the cast, and finding more about each of their backstories. I love good emotional narratives in games like these, and so far I find Doloc Town to have a pretty solid start and plot, and I'm hoping the main story will continue to do so. So far I have enjoyed exploring the town, the outskirts, and the dungeons. And I can't wait to see what other biomes and puzzles we can get to traverse. Oh, and given that this is still the demo, I didn't mind it that much, but hopefully as part of yet another quality of life feature, an option to save anytime would be much appreciated. So whether you're farming, exploring, or collecting rare items, Doloc Town offers a lot of freedom and creativity to build the world the way you like it. The gameplay loop is pretty smooth and satisfying. I keep getting lost track of time, and it just goes to show how engaging it can get. So if you enjoy a detailed, immersive world with lots to explore, where you can build at your own pace and with a different twist on the familiar crafting and farming gameplay, Doloc Town is a game to look out for, and it might just be worth a slot on your wishlist. Speaking of immersive post-apocalyptic worlds, in my time at Sandrock, you're also tasked with bringing the town back to life by gathering resources, constructing huge machinery, and crafting everything from tools to home decor. And if you haven't already, you can check out our videos on my time at Sandrock, where I share some beginner tips and dive into the basics of romance in the game. Click on the video and we'll see you there. Stay awesome, gamers!